Hi there, welcome to today's reading. So today I'm going to be using the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and also going to be pulling some cards from the Power Animal Oracle by Stephen Farmer. And then I will pull an additional card from my mini deck called Your Soul Knows. And we'll see what we get for messages. So as you know, what you'll do is you'll choose either pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4, and go with whichever one that you're drawn to first. And don't stress too much about it. Just choose a deck and trust yourself that your soul has pulled you directly to the message that you need the most today, whenever you see this. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and pull a card from each of these as well. So we're going to start with pile number 1. And let's see. Oh, that's 2 cards. There we go. Pile number 1, Badger, Perseverance. Dig in and see it through to completion. And what badgers do is they dig for the roots. So also know that, dig in and get to the root of things. If there's a problem, persevere. Keep digging in and get to the root of the problem and find your solution. Or if you've been, trying to get something done and it's kind of just seems like things aren't moving as quickly as you want, or maybe you've been procrastinating, right? This is telling you, be like the badger and persevere. Dig in and see it through to completion. So that's your animal message card. Now let's see what the card was for pile number 1. So, Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this, soul call and gather. So you can see them all gathering there. So let's go ahead and look for the book meaning for that card. Okay, and I used the book for this deck because the way that her cards are set up is they have very specific meanings connected with specific things in her interpretation. So that's why I do that. And whenever an intuitive message comes through for me to go with it, then I just ramble on and give that message. So let's go to the book meaning. So this card, Lineage of the Rose, it says, these times, these changing, divisive times, your soul chose to be here right now for this. You're a part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us all, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity, to make spaces where all people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from the destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to the earth. So if you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and the weavings from caverns deep. The way of the mystic rose is walked by few and known by heart, not mind. Try not to overthink, rather trust the threads that are woven deep. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and reassurance that you're not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times for humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home, to themselves, to each other, and to the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Speak, sing, and dance with her. You are led. And then this card also contains with it a soul inquiry. And the question for you to ask yourself is, how are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and the earth? So that's a thought-invoking soul inquiry that's been added in the book for this card. So that's pile number 1 for those 2 cards. And then we're going to go to your soul knows. And we're going to get a card from there and see what comes with that. Intuition. Inner knowingness guides you. Trust yourself. So in doing all these things, it's about the calling, your soul call. Trust yourself that your soul call is correct. That is your message for pile number 1. So let's go on now to pile number 2. So if you chose pile number 2, I'm going to pull an animal card for you first of all. We'll see what kind of energy that brings. So let's see, there we go. Lizard, dream time. Pay attention to your dreams and visions. I even had an interesting dream last night, so that is a good card. So pay attention to your dreams and visions. So sometimes our messages come through our dreams to us, and we should always pay attention to them. Write them down. Keep a little notebook by your bed. Write down what you remember, because that could be something that's going to be important to you later, even if you don't know what it means at the time. So now let's go into the card from the Rose Oracle for pile number 2 is Sub Rosa. So let's have a look and see what the book meaning is for this card. So again, we're going to go to the book because for her decks, Rebecca Campbell's decks, these cards have very specific meanings, which are steeped in history and the research that she's done and have specific meanings. So I love to go to the books for hers because they're very different from a lot of other decks. So this one says, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. So the rose has been a symbol of secrecy for millennia. The ancient Romans were So hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching is the basic energy around this card. And what the book says is, the rose has been a symbol of secrecy for millennia. The ancient Romans wore rose garlands on special occasions when these were hung above important meeting places. The conversations that took place beneath were considered sub rosa, or under the rose. It was understood that these things said under the rose would be kept secret and not repeated. There's also an image of the ancient Egyptian god Horus sitting with a rose and holding his finger to his lips, symbolizing silence about the deep mysteries. The phrase sub rosa may have its origins in ancient Greece, where in 477 BCE, a secret negotiation took place in a building attached to the Temple of Minerva, which is what's seen on this card. On the building's roof was a garden, hence sub rosa. Another otherworldly theory of the phrase's origin is linked to Eros, who is said to have bribed Harpocrates, the Greek god of silence and secrecy, with a rose to persuade him to remain silent of the affairs of the gods. This card represents the great mysteries that are available for us to uncover and remember, secrets that are waiting to be found, teachings that your soul might be ready to learn. Look beyond what your eyes can see and dig a little deeper. Ooh, look at that. It's digging deeper, just like the Badger card in the first one. You're here to uncover lost wisdom, ancient secrets, and deep mysteries. Are you being called to study the great mysteries, to live the great questions, and to step into your role as a teacher, guide, or mystic? Are you being called to question the things and unearth the truths unknown? So the soul inquiry question for this card, which is your little food for thought that she writes at the end of some of them. This one has a soul inquiry that says, what are you being called to study, learn more about, or unearth? It's so interesting that we had the Badger card in this one, which that's what they do. They dig and unearth things. They unearth roots and such to eat. But this one is talking about that. And also where you've got the pay attention to your dreams and visions card here. This is talking about some of these things are clearly coming to you in your dreams or visions that you may be having. So your teacher and your guide may be coming to you in your dreams. So let's have a look and see what the message is from the Your Soul Knows deck. We'll find out how that relates, or if it's just an additional side message for you there. For pile number 2, we just need one card. Yep. This one, I guess, has 2 messages because they definitely came out. Usually when more than one comes out, I put them back, but this one feels weighted, like it needs to be given. So I'm going to give them both for you, pile number 2. The first one that comes up is community. Associate with like-minded souls who share your vision. Again, they're talking about a vision. And then this other one says set goals, write it down, and you will see your progress. So again, it's about, journaling your dreams, writing them down, observing your progress, because maybe, you've been trying to learn these things and you feel like you're not progressing, but you are slowly. But it's also talking about finding that teacher and community, right? Find like-minded souls who share with your vision. So when we see a word come up more than once, it means it's more significant to you and your reading. So those messages are for you for pile number 2. Okay, let's move on to pile number 3. And our first card will be a card from the Power Animal Oracle. Elephant, resolve. You will overcome any obstacles. So, there's an old saying. It says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Not that I approve of eating elephants, because I don't, but that's just an example of how to overcome an elephant-sized obstacle or problem. So this is what that's about. So let's see. And elephants are a beautiful animal, very powerful. And so let's go ahead and look at this one. The Rose Garden. Innocence, forgiveness, and being gentle with yourself. And I kind of think of an elephant as a gentle giant in a sense. So that's really interesting that word has come up. And again, I do pull from, what I see intuitively is meaningful. But for this deck here, the Rose Oracle, I always go to the book because her cards have specific meanings and they have a whole story behind them. So I like to share that as well, just to make sure that you get the full message. So this one says, let's pull this up so you can see it a little better here. This one says, you're holy and whole. You're innocent and innately good. You're wholly welcome here. You never got kicked out of your garden. None of us did. This card delivers a message of welcomeness, of returning to our innocence. If you feel as if you've done something wrong without knowing what you've done, if you feel ashamed about hurting someone, if you're finding it hard to forgive yourself, this card is gently calling you to release any shame, judgment, or bad feelings. To do what you need to do and to let go and make amends. Remember that you're human. And as a human, you're here to learn and grow. And so is everyone else. You're not broken. You never were. You're a work in progress. We all are. You're learning and unlearning. We all are. Be gentle with yourself, and in turn be gentle with others. Return to your humanity, your humanness. Remember, you were never perfect, and being human isn't about perfection. Grow and learn, but do it softly. You have goodness in you. Remember that. Cherish that, and cherish that in others too. We're all doing the best we can. When we learn, we can choose to do something new. Commit to learning and doing better each and every day. This is what it means to be human, to embrace our humanness. Without it, we deny the shadow, and it's through facing the shadow without defense that we can learn and grow. Embrace your humanity, and you'll find it easier to embrace others and the whole world. And this card also has a soul inquiry. These cards are so pretty, aren't they? This card's soul inquiry, the question to ask yourself that it gives you is, how can you be more gentle with yourself? It's so interesting that the elephant card came up, about overcoming obstacles. So maybe in this case, the obstacle is yourself and how you're feeling about yourself. And it's telling you be gentle with yourself, So even though the problems that you have or how you're feeling may feel huge, like elephant size, it says you'll overcome these obstacles and these feelings. So it's talking about forgiving yourself and others, kind of give yourself a break. We're all human and we're all learning all the time. What does this say? Choose joy. Find joyful moments in each day. So while you are working on all of this, remember to stay in touch with the good things. So we always hear about gratitude, having gratitude for things, but also about, doing something each day if you can that brings you joy. That is really important, to remember the good things. So find joyful moments in each day. That is the additional message for you for pile number 3. That was an interesting one, wasn't it? So let's move on to pile number 4. And we'll first of all go to the Power Animal Oracle, and we'll choose a card from there to see what kind of energy this brings you. Pile number 4, we just need one. All the animals love you there, pile number 4. They all want to pop out today. Let's see. There we go. Finally. Koala. Empathy. Oh, koalas are so sweet. Everybody just wants to cuddle them. But the message that comes with this card is speak less and listen more. So kind of be like this quiet little koala and, have empathy also. So it's talking about just being a good listener, because maybe somebody needs you to just hear them and not give them solutions. Sometimes people just need to vent. And let's go to this card here. Healing is happening. Oh, okay. So you're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. And this couldn't be a softer, more cuddly looking animal, could it? It's safe to soften. So let's go to the book for the Rose Oracle and see what that card has to say. Okay, so let's pull this card up here so we can look at it more closely while I'm reading it. So this is the card, Healing is Happening, for pile number 4. And it says, you're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. It says, you're not broken. You're part of the ever-changing nature of life. Change is your natural state. The rose knows that you were never meant to stay the same, to be one single shape, size, or way. You're not normal, and that's normal. You're always becoming more and more of who you truly are. Healing is happening every moment of every day. You're returning to your true state every moment of every day. Call in your support team of people who can hold you in that, who can trust in the grace of your natural state. A true healer knows that they're not the only one doing the healing. Rather, they're holding the vision of the return to wholeness, knowing that wholeness isn't a stagnant state. When you embrace all parts of your life, from the ecstasy to the agony, the joy to the grief, the bloom to the fall, the bud to the rosehip, you'll realize that healing is always happening and life is on your side. No one is immune to the polarity of this human experience. The only way through it is to embrace all parts of it, the light and the shadow. And as any healer or initiate knows, the only way to the light is to embrace the shadow within. The shadow, and sometimes the pain, is a portal to your liberation. You're not broken, you're healing. Healing is happening. Trust in the timing of life. And the Rose transmission, rather than a soul inquiry for this one, just says healing is happening. So it says it 3 times. In fact, it says healing is happening, healing is happening, healing is happening. So that is the Rose card. So this is about healing and gentleness and being gentle and soft with yourself. And the listening card, the speak less and listen more, and empathy, that's also for you, to have that empathy for yourself as well, and to be in silence. Because, when you sit in silence, that's when your team, from the other side can get through to you, right? So just sitting in silence and not just always filling the air with words, as they say. And that is one way to help heal yourself. Now, let's go to the Your Soul Knows deck. So that seems like a really different message than the other ones, but there are pieces that relate to other readings in each one of the piles. So if you were drawn to more than one pile, do go back and listen to the other one, because there's probably a message in that one for you as well. Just like the 1 and the 2 and the digging deep. So let's see. And the other one's about not being broken. Like that was also a repetitive message. Oh my gosh, look at that. Healing. This is a strong message for you, pile number 4. So for that to come up again, healing. As you now heal earthly issues, spirit completes the cure. So this is definitely talking about you taking that time to sit with yourself in peace and quiet and just, shut everything off, right? Don't listen to the radio. Don't listen to music. Get off of the internet kind of thing, right? And just, it's time to take some time. I would say do it each day, a little bit, sitting with yourself. Even if you don't meditate, just sitting and taking your deep breaths, like your 3 deep breaths, because by the time you finish those, you can feel the difference in your body. So do take that time for yourself, pile number 4. So that was an interesting group of cards. I just love the energy of them together. So I truly do hope that you find this helpful, and the energy of these beautiful rose cards blooming, blooming and growing just like people do. So there is another saying that I'll share with you. It's called bloom where you're planted, right? And that means just, don't worry about trying to get somewhere else. Grow and become who you are, where you are. I do hope these beautiful cards help you. And I do also have my course and my ebook. So the ebook is called How to Dream Intuitively. There will be a link to that on my YouTube, and also a link to my class, which is How to Read Oracle Cards Intuitively, to teach you how to do this for yourself. So, and how to use your intuition to do it as well. So there'll be a link for that with my YouTube video as well. And definitely reach out with any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. So I do hope this helps you all, and I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Take care. Bye for now.